Tommie's Honest Advice. This is just going to be a review on Love is Blind, the recent season. I know this was a video that was voted on, but in the meantime, I wanted to show off what I've been up to, right? So I made this, and I made my little studs as well. I think sometimes when you are against the wall, right? I think you have to figure out how you can distress from that. Figure out how you can expand on that, grow from that, right? So for me, apologies for noise in the background, I have Taberji and Juju. For me, I'm going to continue to do creative things. Moving on, back to the review. Let me know in the comments if you like my earrings. So I have a sheet here. This season, to me, was kind of disappointing. I don't know. I just expected more from the males. I expected more from the females. Both were wrong. But I want to touch on probably one of my favorite cast members, AD. I like how she stood her ground. And I like how she this experience didn't change her, right? She knows what she brings to the table. And unfortunately for Clay, I think he understands where he went wrong, right? But I think the blaming the dad part and him cheating and his infidelity and how he treated his mom is no excuse for you continuing in that on. I do pride him in taking on counseling, but I did love that moment where he gave a shout out to Brat from another season, and you know how Brat, which was he's probably one of my favorites from Love is Blind. From the previous seasons, just how humble he is, and I also love his wife as well. I think they were definitely a match made in heaven. But I want to go back to Clay. I do think that, yes, everybody goes through things, but I think that Clay, I did see in the episode, right? I want to talk about this episode. This was the episode where they were about to get married, AD and Clay. And I just kind of felt like Clay's dad was putting on a persona, right? I don't know him personally, but this is just my perspective from watching, right? I felt like he puts pressure on Clay to be the person that either he wants to be or wanted to be, something within those lines. It's something going on there to where I can't really pinpoint what that is. Moving on. Trevor. We got to talk about this finale, right? Some of this stuff is going to be majority from the finale, but I will relate it to the episodes as well. Trevor, I thought he was cool. I thought Trevor was a lover boy. I thought he got treated bad until he got put on blast. But it just shows you, Trevor, how, people can perceive themselves to be like this perfect person, but you never know, right? That's the tricky part about persona and perception. You got to be able to use your discernment to figure out which one is real, right? And that's why it's taken me so long to date, because Trevor, he even admitted to it. He admitted he was playing the fields. He told the girl that he was going to marry her, but then he got on the show Love is Blind. And on the show, it was a different person as he was perceived. Like, I saw him as a person I got over on, a person that was treated bad, but that wasn't the case. Jessica. Let's talk about Jessica. I like that she's friends with Chelsea. I like that she's friends with another lady from the previous season. Jessica, let me get back to that. Beautiful, right? I like that she stood her ground. That's another lady that was one of my favorites because she stood her ground. Now, some of you can say, like, hey, she shouldn't have been in people's DMs trying to get Jimmy. But for her, I think she genuinely was in this experience to find someone. And unfortunately, her daughter, had to be involved. But I think that was probably... could have been the hardest part for her, not coming out of this experiment with someone. I think that Jessica and Chelsea's friendship definitely shows maturity and growth, right? Chelsea was one of my favorites as well. She I felt, was genuinely looking for love, and I think she got matched with the wrong person. I don't think she should have got matched with Jimmy, of all people. Like, no. Because I think from the beginning, in the episode, if you look back, I don't think Jimmy was ever attracted to her. Because in the beginning, he's like throwing daggers at her appearance, talk about, you told me you look like Megan Fox, and I think he just was breaking down her self-esteem, and I did not like that at all. Like, if you're going to marry somebody, marry them for who they are, not who you want them to be or who you want them to look like. Because from the beginning, I felt like he was never attracted to her. I felt like you could just tell from the stuff she was saying, and then also he was talking to his ex and then told her don't share that. Like, I get that you're supposed to, build trust with your spouse or your possible husband, but for me, I just felt like, girl, she had the right to share that, because that was wrong. If you're gonna go on an experiment, you're gonna go on a show to say you genuinely are ready for marriage, then that means you cut everybody off. Out of respect for your spouse or, whatever it is, because Chelsea, I just felt like she's another one that was genuinely looking for love. And if I were her, I would not be talking to Jimmy like that. To me, he just comes across as, I don't know, like he doesn't take responsibility. Like, it's something. I couldn't pinpoint it. Let me see. Who else? Yeah, this season for me, I don't know. I don't think it was the best season for me. I did, like some of the cast members, but I think just the general lesson from this season is, do not go into something that you're not ready for, number one. And two, if you're not ready for it, then you should have that much more respect to tell that person, hey, I'm not ready for marriage. I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm on here for fame. Like, because some of the people, it just seem like this is the character, Matthew. I want to talk about him. And I want to tie it into one of my favorite cast members, AD. For me, I just felt like, from my perspective, Matthew was way out of AD's league, okay? Just in general, I just don't think that he deserved AD. He didn't deserve to apologize to her. He didn't deserve to have 2 dates with her. But I think that AD, which I genuinely love, and this is what I love about her, she genuinely will always be herself. And she is free-spirited, right? Go with the flow. But Matthew, to me, he came across as like a womanizer, but also like a narcissist, but also something deeper. I don't know. It just something was off, right? I don't think he should have been on the show, nor do I think that he should be with anybody, to be honest. But if I were to give the show a rating, I would say out of 5, I think I would give it probably a 2. This season, I really didn't like this one. I think moving forward, they need to vet people more. They need to do thorough research and probably get in, sociologists, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, all of that, to vet these people, because it's very unfortunate that some of the men and some of the women, got the short end of the stick, because I felt like some of these people really genuinely wasn't looking for marriage because they didn't do the self-work. They didn't know what went into or what goes into marriage. So it's just like you have to take a second back because, again, it does a disservice. Not only for the people on the show, but for the viewers as well. Because in my mind, I'm just like, if this is how it's going to be, then I might as well just ride it out solo dolo. Like, I'm not trying to deal with that. But this season was eye-opening, very eye-opening. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And let me know if y'all like my jewelry. Okay. I'm loving the studs. I'm loving this. It's different. Y'all let me know. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Subscribe.